Have you ever wondered why some people avoid emotional intimacy? This intriguing behavior is often rooted in what psychologists term as the avoidant attachment style. This style, as the name suggests, is characterized by a tendency to shun emotional closeness and to prize independence above all else. But where does this originate from? It's largely believed to stem from childhood experiences. When a caregiver is neglectful or inconsistent in their response to a child's emotional needs, the child may gradually lose trust and choose to detach completely. This detachment is a survival mechanism, a way for the child to protect themselves from the pain of unmet needs. This early formed attachment style can significantly impact adult relationships. An avoidant individual typically resists dependence on others and is uncomfortable with intimacy and affection. This can lead to challenges in forming deep, meaningful connections. Let's delve deeper into the roots of this attachment style. It all starts in childhood, where the seeds of this attachment style are sown. As the words of the renowned psychologist Romanoff suggest, the roots of an avoidant attachment style are planted in the early years of life. This style often develops when a child's emotional needs are met inconsistently, or worse, neglected entirely by their caregiver. Imagine a child crying, seeking comfort and solace. Instead of being held and soothed, the child is reprimanded, punished for their tears. This situation is not a one-off incident, but a recurring theme in the child's life. It's in these moments that the child learns a harsh lesson. Their emotional needs are not valid, not important, or too much of a burden for their caregiver to handle. Over time, this repeated dismissal of their emotional needs erodes the child's trust in their caregiver. The child learns to detach, to distance themselves emotionally from their caregiver to protect themselves. This is the inception of an avoidant attachment style. Interestingly, Romanoff points out that such children often exhibit a high level of independence at a young age. But this independence is not born out of confidence or self-assuredness. Rather, it's a survival strategy, a coping mechanism. The child learns to rely solely on themselves because the one person they should be able to depend on has proven to be unreliable. To maintain the relationship with the caregiver, the child suppresses their own needs, neglects them even. This behavior is a desperate attempt to avoid jeopardizing the relationship with the caregiver, who, despite their faults, is still a vital figure in the child's life. This pattern of behavior and emotional suppression can lead to a host of issues, such as anxiety, emotional withdrawal, and a struggle to ask for help, even when it's needed. The child learns to downplay their needs, just as their caregiver did. These experiences shape a child's approach to relationships and emotional intimacy. They lay the foundation for an avoidant attachment style that can continue into adulthood, influencing their approach to relationships and how they perceive emotional intimacy. As these children grow up, their attachment style begins to significantly impact their adult relationships. The strategies they adopted in childhood to navigate their emotional world don't disappear. Instead, they carry them into their adult relationships, often without even realizing it. For individuals with an avoidant attachment style, independence becomes a crucial element of their relationships. They have learned to rely solely on themselves, and this self-reliance manifests in their interactions with others. They prioritize their independence over dependence on a partner, believing that they can only truly rely on themselves. This can make them wary of getting too close to others, for fear that their independence will be compromised. But this pursuit of independence is more than just a preference for solitude. It's a defense mechanism, a way to avoid the vulnerability that comes with emotional intimacy. These individuals resist others depending on them and avoid forming deep attachments. The fear of dependence, of needing others, is so ingrained in them that they often retreat when faced with the possibility of emotional closeness. When under stress, these individuals tend to withdraw even further. They isolate themselves, preferring to deal with their difficulties alone rather than seeking support from their partner. This withdrawal is not due to a lack of care or affection for their partner, but rather a deeply ingrained belief that they should not or cannot depend on others. This approach to relationships, while it may provide some comfort to the avoidant individual, often leads to a lack of intimacy and closeness in their relationships. Their partners may feel neglected or unimportant, causing tension and dissatisfaction. The avoidant individual's fear of dependence and resistance to attachment can create a barrier to genuine connection, leaving their partners feeling distant and disconnected. In conclusion, while the avoidant attachment style may serve as a protective mechanism for the individual, it often hinders the development of deep, meaningful connections in their relationships. This attachment style can lead to a lack of intimacy and closeness in relationships. Avoidant individuals often face unique challenges in their relationships. This stems primarily from a deeply ingrained lack of trust, a remnant of their early experiences. This distrust can make it exceedingly difficult for those with an avoidant attachment style to open up, to be vulnerable, and to form meaningful connections with others. It's like they're stuck behind a wall, peering out but hesitant to step beyond their fortress of solitude. Consequently, these individuals often struggle with intimacy, a cornerstone of any healthy relationship. Their tendency to maintain a certain emotional distance can leave their partners feeling unsatisfied, even neglected. Imagine being in a relationship where closeness feels like a foreign country, unexplored and potentially threatening. This can be the reality for partners of avoidant individuals who continually grapple with a yearning for deeper connection that seems perpetually unfulfilled. Understanding and acknowledging this attachment style can be a step towards fostering healthier relationships. It's about recognizing these challenges and then seeking to navigate them with patience, empathy, and understanding. So, what have we learned about the avoidant attachment style? This attachment style typically originates from inconsistent or neglectful childhood experiences. When a caregiver fails to respond adequately to a child's emotional needs, the child learns to suppress their own needs and emotions, leading to a tendency to detach from others. As these children grow into adults, their past experiences often result in a strong desire for independence and a discomfort with intimacy. They prioritize self-reliance over dependence on others, and in times of stress, they may withdraw and isolate themselves. This can result in a lack of closeness and intimacy, creating challenges in their relationships. Those with an avoidant attachment style often find it difficult to trust and open up to others, which can make it challenging for them to connect on a deeper level. But remember, awareness is the first step towards change. Recognizing an avoidant attachment style can be the beginning of a journey towards healthier relationships.